Last lecture, we built the transformer architecture. Stack of attention blocks. Beautiful. Trains in parallel. But here is a question that paper did not answer. Say you want to do sentiment analysis. Movie review, thumbs up or down. You take the architecture. Now what? You need labels. Thousands of labels. Where do they come from? In 2018, a small team at Google answered with one idea that rewired the entire field. Their question: what if the model could teach itself before you ever showed it a label? That paper is BERT. Let us build it. Here is what the 2018 NLP landscape looked like. You wanted sentiment analysis? Collect 100,000 labeled reviews. You wanted named entity recognition? Hire annotators to tag 100,000 sentences. Question answering? Crowdsource Squad, 80,000 question-answer pairs. Every task had its own data set, and labels cost real money. Annotators, quality control, inter-rater agreement. A small team building a chatbot could not afford squad scale. And here's the insight that mattered. The bottleneck was not the model. Transformers had plenty of capacity. The bottleneck was the labels. Meanwhile, the internet had trillions of words sitting there, unlabeled but free. What if you could train on the free text first? Here is the idea that was already in the air. Language modeling. Predict the next word. The cat sat on the what comes next? Probably mat, maybe floor, maybe couch. You do not need a human to tell you the answer. The text itself is the label. Take any sentence, hide the last word, train the model to predict it. Free supervision. Run it across the entire internet. 2 papers in 2018 went down this road. Elmo and GPT-1. They pre-trained a language model, then fine-tuned for downstream tasks. It helped. But there was one catch. Language modeling is left to right. Word 1, then word 2, then word 3. When you predict word 3, you can see word 1 and word 2. You can never see word 4. For generation, fine. For understanding, brutal. Human readers use both sides of a word to interpret it. The model could only use one. So here is the radical question. What if the model could look both directions when learning a word? Take the sentence. The bank charged me a fee. To know that bank is a financial institution and not a riverbank, you need the word fee on the right side. A left-to-right model never gets to use it during pre-training. But you cannot just train a bidirectional language model. Think about it. If word 3 can see word 2 and word 4 during training, and the task is predict word 3, the model just looks at word 3. It is literally allowed to see itself. The task is trivial. It learns nothing. That is cheating. Every previous attempt at bidirectional pre-training hit this wall. Devlin and his team needed a totally different objective. Here is their answer. The masked language model. Take the sentence. The cat sat on the mat. Pick a token at random and replace it with a special token. Mask. The cat sat on the mask. Now train the model to predict the original word. Both directions are allowed. Because the answer was removed, there is no cheating. The model has to use cat sat on the to figure out the missing word is mat. Free supervision, bidirectional context, both at once. How often do you mask? 15% of tokens. Roughly 1 word in 7. Why 15? Below 10 and the signal is too weak, you barely train. Above 20 and you have removed so much context the task is impossible. 15 sits in the sweet spot. Run this across 3 billion words from Wikipedia and Books Corpus. The model is doing language understanding by fill in the blank. Trillions of free training examples. But there is a subtle bug in this recipe. Think about what happens at fine-tune time. You give the model a movie review. Real text, no mask tokens anywhere. But the model spent all of pre-training staring at mask tokens. Pre-train and fine-tune look like different distributions. The model has never seen normal text. It only knows masked text. Their fix is beautiful. The 80-10-10 split. Of the 15% you choose to mask, 80% of the time you actually replace with mask, 10% of the time you replace with a random word, and 10% of the time you leave it unchanged. The model can never assume an input is unmasked. It has to work for all 3 cases. And now pre-training distribution looks much closer to fine-tuning. BERT had a second pre-training objective. Next sentence prediction. Show the model 2 sentences. A and B. Half the time, B is the actual next sentence after A in the corpus. Half the time, B is a random sentence from somewhere else. Task. Is this a real next sentence or not? Binary classification. The idea was to help downstream tasks that involve sentence pairs. Question answering. Natural language inference. Dialogue. Modern caveat. 2 years later, Roberta, Facebook, ran an ablation. They removed next sentence prediction. Performance went up. Turns out the masking objective alone was doing all the work. Next sentence prediction quietly disappeared from the playbook. Even good papers have bits that do not survive. The architecture itself is almost boring. BERT base, 12 transformer encoder blocks, hidden size 768, 12 attention heads, 110 million parameters. BERT large, 24 blocks, hidden size 1024, 16 heads, 340 million parameters. Same self-attention, same feed forward, same residual and layer norm we built last lecture. 2 new pieces. Word piece tokenizer with 30,000 tokens, so rare words break into sub-pieces and the vocab stays small. And a special CLS token at position 0. Every input starts with CLS. After pre-training, the vector at the CLS position summarizes the whole sequence. That summary becomes your classification feature. Same encoder, 2 pre-training tasks, 1 classifier head. Here is the part that shocked the field. Pre-trained BERT once on 3 billion words for about 4 days on 64 TPUs. Now you have weights. For any downstream task, take the pre-trained encoder, slap 1 task-specific head on top, and train end-to-end on the small labeled dataset. Sentiment? CLS vector goes into 1 linear layer, 2 outputs. Named entity recognition? Each token's vector goes into 1 linear layer, label per token. Question answering on squad? 2 linear layers, predicts start position and end position. Fine-tuning takes a few hours, 5,000 to 10,000 labeled examples. Pre-trained BERT plus a tiny head beat the previous state-of-the-art on 11 benchmarks. Some tasks by margins nobody had seen. 4 full points on glue. The new mental model. Pre-training did 95% of the work. Fine-tuning was the final coat of paint. What happened next? BERT became the backbone of natural language understanding. Roberta, 2019, dropped next sentence prediction and trained 10 times longer. Albert shared parameters across layers. Roberta added disentangled attention, content, and position handled separately. By 2020, every Kaggle and LP winner used a BERT variant. And then something interesting. BERT was encoder only, pre-train and fine-tune for understanding. GPT was decoder only, pre-train auto-regressively for generation. 2 paths diverged. Encoders became the default for embeddings, classification, retrieval. The search index in your RAG system is probably a BERT descendant. Decoders became the default for chat, completion, agents. But the deeper idea was universal. Whatever you build, pre-train it on enormous unlabeled data first. Fine-tune on the tiny task you actually care about. That paradigm runs all of modern AI. 3 takeaways. 1. Pre-training was the bottleneck killer. Once you stop needing fresh labels for every task, the cost of NLP collapses. 2. Masking was the supervision trick. If you can hide part of your data and force the model to reconstruct it, any unlabeled corpus becomes a training set. The same idea reappears in vision, in audio, in proteins. 3. The encoder versus decoder split. BERT chose understanding. GPT chose generation. Both correct. They became different industries. Next lecture, GPT-2 and the scaling laws paper. What happens when you stop fine-tuning altogether and just make the pre-trained model bigger? Subscribe.